So new folks be able to play Aimsir chaite. So today we'll be discussing the Aimsir chaite. Agus ní is bechorg me tishkent raisins of wahagat Aimsir chaite in ye an kiaksha. So after this lesson, you should have a reasonable comprehension of the Aimsir chaite. Okay, the briher Rialta with the regular verbs. Agus na rialcha wan net and the rules that are associated with it. So tá Aimsir eile an se gaeilge chos leis an Aimsir láithreach an Aimsir ásnach agus an móchanílach ach be me do play or be me do play leis an Aimsir chaite in you. So we'll be discussing the Aimsir chaite. There are others like the present, the future and the conditional tense as well. So nod in German already sure do spore last jicht the gach Aimsir if you to Jane Stager or so within every tense that you study there are briher le shulawan, briher le gachyola, oxygen le briher Rialta. So there are verbs with one syllables, verbs with two syllables, and there are also the irregular verbs as well. So Jira host the horn chin to the pointy is talk the fall modulus and. So directly in front of you there you have the most important point with regards to the past tense. Right? So dus bor and chin. So mahosin she le khonsen, mahosin she le gotten, no mahosin she le f and chin. Okay, so shin and rod nua oin sheet ik tus nibrira. That is what they get at the start of the verb there. So if it starts with a consonant, we'll get a H. If it starts with a gutta, it will get a D lubin there. And then when it starts with an F, it would also get a D apostrophe and a H as well. If you want to put the verb into the negative form, so it's an Rialta an chin, usage with near Aimsir chaite, we use near in the past tense. Agus multitudinary on from kestra usage mit Okay, we use to ask a question in the past tense. Now, these rules do not apply to the irregular verbs, which we'll see at a later point. So near plus a consonant shin, so near plus a verb that starts with a consonant, we'll get a shevu. Agus near plus a gotte, or sorry, near plus a verb that starts with a gotte, we'll just drop the D, and niwe she apru or bechele will not get any other change. What the mujigiri a keshtachar when ask a question, so plus a verb that starts with a consonant. Okay, so yo she shevun chin, agus plus a gotte, so plus a verb that starts with a vowel, we'll just drop the D, agus niwe she and vowel will not get anything else. So in the past and the start of the verb changes, there are three ways in which they change. So fekshiv and chin and kui gonahrin tus namarin and chin. So you will see there how the start of the verb changes. Okay, so Martha luchuk mahanahin, so like I've said already, ein briher and chin talking a hostin a hunsen. Most verbs start with a consonant will get a shevu. So afrin ka gachach. If they start with a vowel, okay, all will change to dol, so therefore they will get a D and apostrophe. So afrin dol, godol, and agus afrin feach gojeach and chin. So if it starts with an F, we'll get a D apostrophe and a H. So to sample and show agin guiv, we have some samples here for you. Cos ka, kas, gal, gar, tog, and dun. Agus afrin sheetsen, go chach, chas, yal, yar, hog, agus gun and chin. Okay, so you can see how the verb changes. The pronunciation of the verb changes with the new shevu added into it. Okay, so ka can mean a few different things. We have kas, which can mean to turn or to play, gal to promise, gar to cut, to take, agus dun to close. So sampli ele ta agin and shin motomajigiri na brother shin uso the naberchi. So other samples we have here if we want to use the verbs in sentences. Okay. So again, the Irish language is quite verb heavy. In other words, a lot of emphasis put on the verbs, and also the fact that a lot of the sentences will start with a verb as well. So chachma ganzinye, I wore a jumper yesterday. Chasma chimple, I turned around. Yalme the water, I promised my mother. Yarme chake, I cut the cake. Hogme mach mo hopler, I took out my copy. Agus gunman theirs, I closed the door. So tomajigi Buggle Ryan Shinkajin Kid Kimela, so the next step. So if they start with a vowel, okay, so Mike and Chivin Chin, you see ear, yuck, all, and ish, Ugs and Kui, after and Chin, the way that they change. So Armin ear, good jeer, yuck, good jiok, all to dole, Ugs ish to js and Chin. Agus sampling sin mo tutugiri each shin úsod an number sheets of samples if you want to use those in sentences. Jeremy Irvin the question at Ayenov, I asked them to do the questions. Giachme asked na hoplar, so I paid for the copies. Dolmen Banya Armagin, I drank milk this morning. August Jeshme lesson radio, I listened to the radio. So if the verb starts with an F on shin, to three sample on shin, okay, three samples. Fos, fan and fech, so average is fos go dos, fan to dan, agus fech to jech. Agus reis motamagiri eid shinu so the nabrashi. So dos na blahne o nara, so the flowers grew since last year. Dan me sa wale in I stayed at home yesterday. Agus jech me ar an television rare, I watched the television last night. So on tain kriach different oimage namshir chaite and shin, okay, so the one or the only interchange we get is when we're talking about we or mud or shin, right? So it's federal mud usage in Australia different, but the could mo modulus lesh an haidan modulus and gaidan of a good grelge barlow gamech to go so really sure they refer you if you were to use our ending the shin. So an kid go can tar fallen chin the shin bantuk and kid rain new. So one syllable verbs, August and then there, I suppose, on triux and Catholic and chin, so the third and the fourth, the chishin banchuk lesh and dar renu. So two syllable verbs. So a brand new ne sampling chin, so looking at our samples. So we threw, we drank, we listened, we fought, we waited. Okay, so again has our shape at the start, so chahmer, our D apostrophe there, so dolomer, D apostrophe rish, jasomer, Tragemer Augustanemer. Okay, so it still gets the change to the start of the verb as well as the new ending. So module in the breher legochiola regarding the verbs with two syllables there, you will see so chanimer, rushimer, chartimer, augustesimer and chin. So again, column cheatsin and AIGH or an IGH. Okay, so similar to the present and future tenses, it drops the AIGH or the IGH and gets this new ending. So we want to use something in its negative form. Okay, so the past tense near is used instead of ni. Ni is used for the Amshar Lorach and Amshar Osnach, so the present and the future, but in the past tense we use near. So near plus a verb that starts with a consonant, we'll get a shevu for the most part, most of them. Okay, so I didn't throw near chachma. Near plus a verb that starts with a gote gets nothing other than it drops the D. So I didn't drink would be near olma. So Bulgaria a recent chin motomajigiri rudigan usots an keshachanchin. So if we want to use something in the questionable case, in the past tense we use instead of on. On is used in the present, the future tense, but snamshachacha usodja means So plus a consonant or verb that starts with a consonant will get a shevu. So did you throw will be erchatu. Plus a verb that starts with a gote will get nothing. Okay, other than the D will drop. So did you drink will be oltu. So nish ig brand new or a kid so consider briher, so the free verb, okay, so briher nakul bantakle dine or bih, so a verb that isn't associated with one particular person or anything, okay, so nil dine or bih bantaklesh, there's no person associated to it. Now being to an khudja kinoin amski the green that this part can be awkward for some people, okay, because I suppose Marial goes to kinonis chakra because it is a bit harder, right? So with the one syllable verbs there, you will see that we have two possible endings you can add. So EADH and ADH and shin. So curach and solish or shu, so the light was put on. Dunach and durs, the door was closed. Fanach last week, so waited outside. Olach and joch shinur one, that drink was once drank. Kenyach and chor shinur one, that car was once bought. August Jeshiach and chor, the car was fixed. You can also see the two syllable examples there for you at the end. And I can either be AI for the ODH or I for the ODH. So Shinei folks really are numlun mother lesh nebrire Rialta chaite. So that is it folks really overall for the regular verbs in the past tense. So I suppose on Rod's talk in chin no the German in a real shot to giraffe also horn chin. So the main rules there for the start of the verb changing, what we use in the negative in the question of case, and how they change as well, depending on whether the verb starts with a consonant or a vowel as well. Agus sin é really ar normal, that is it overall. Okay, so sin na pointe is tofty dut modulus and amsel chaite. So they are the most important parts for you for the amsel chaite. Carmela.